Welcome to EcoFun's video on the cost of living. In this video, we will examine how economists measure the overall cost of living. First, let us go through the concept of CPI, Consumer Price Index. The Consumer Price Index is a measure of the overall cost of the goods and services bought by a typical consumer. Every month, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, computes and reports the CPI. To see exactly how these statistics are calculated, let us consider the 5 steps that the BLS follows. 1. Fixed basket. Determine what's in the typical consumer's shopping basket and which prices are most important to the typical consumer. 2. Find the prices. Collects data on the prices of all the goods in the basket. 3. Compute basket's cost. Use the data on prices to calculate the total cost of the basket. 4. Choose a base year and compute the index. Designate one year as the base year, the benchmark against which other years are to be compared. Once the base year is chosen, the index is calculated as follows. CPI would equal price of baskets of goods and services in the current year divided for price of basket in the base year, multiplied for 100. It is important to note that the index is always 100 in the base year. 5. Compute the inflation rate. Use the CPI to calculate the inflation rate, which is the percentage change in the price index from the preceding period. Inflation rate would equal CPI this year minus the CPI of last year, divided for the CPI of last year, and multiplied for 100. CPI, however, is not a perfect measure of the cost of living. 3 problems with the index are widely acknowledged but difficult to solve. The first problem is called substitution bias. When prices change from one year to the next, they do not all change proportionately. Some prices rise more than others. Consumers respond by buying the goods with lower prices. If a price index is computed assuming a fixed basket of goods, it ignores the possibility of consumer substitution. The second problem with the CPI is the introduction of new goods. As new goods are introduced, consumers have more choices, and each dollar is worth more. But because the CPI is based on a fixed basket of goods and services, it does not reflect the increase in the value of the dollar that arises from the introduction of new goods. The third problem with the CPI is unmeasured quality change. If the quality of a good deteriorates from one year to the next while its price remains the same, the value of a dollar falls and vice versa. Despite the BOS attempt to account for quality change, it still remains a problem because quality is hard to measure. Before ending this video, let's take a look at the contrasting factors of CPI and GDP deflator. For imported consumer goods, it is often included in the CPI, but excluded from the GDP deflator. As for capital goods, it is excluded from CPI but included in GDP deflator if produced domestically. Finally, when it comes to the basket of goods and services, CPI uses fixed basket, while GDP deflator uses basket of currently produced goods and services. This factor matters if different prices are changing by different amounts. That is all for this video. Thanks for watching.